Before I go on in the video, I'd like to say Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a great holiday season. Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas. Hope you're enjoying your Christmas. Without further ado, this video I want to pay tribute to Gerard Houllier. He passed away on the 14th of December. He was 73 years old when he passed away, and obviously it's a tragic loss. 73 isn't quite old age. Well, it's old, but it's not really a fulfilled life. And I just want to send condolences to his family and friends. Now, obviously, he's most known for his managerial career. In total, he managed at least definitely over 4 clubs in it, at least. I can't exactly name them all, but I can name some of them at least. He was a full manager for different clubs, including Liverpool, Aston Villa, Lyon, and PSG. And you could argue that Lyon in France was probably his most successful period as a manager, even though at the time it was seen as underachieving, because at Lyon he won back-to-back league titles with them. But like I said before, like I just said, it was seen as a underachievement because I think the president at the time, the chairman, wanted to kind of convert. He wanted European success because they had been winning league titles before he went back to France and went to manage Lyon. So Houllier, he won back-to-back titles, back-to-back League One titles, French titles with Lyon, but it was seen as a failure, even though to most people, it'll be viewed as a success. But I think most of us knew him from his time at Liverpool when he was manager, and he was kind of responsible for bringing through Steven Gerrard, most notably, and Michael Owen and other English talents. But most notably, of course, Steven Gerrard, who went on to become a Liverpool legend, and he's now a manager himself, and he paid tribute to Gerard Houllier in his press conference after hearing the news, and he was just showing his appreciation for him, what he did for him as a player, as his manager at the time. And yeah, it's a real shock, because for me, I got introduced to Gerard Houllier personally through like a child's book on football, and his name came up, and I was just curious. And then later on, I found out that he was the manager of Liverpool at the time, and then eventually he got replaced by Rafa Benitez. But the point is, Steven Gerrard said in an interview that it's really hard for him to come to terms with the death of Gerard Houllier, because obviously he helped bring him in, he helped bring him through, he helped put him into the first team for Liverpool at 17 years old. So yeah, it was a tough day for him. So he said that yesterday was really a tough day for himself and others, because of what the devastating news of Gerard Houlier's passing. And yeah, it was just it was November of 1998 when Gerard Houllier gave Steven Gerrard his debut in the Liverpool team, and he had some good moments. He won the League Cup with Liverpool. I believe he won other trophies as well, aside from the League Cup. Let me just check briefly. Yeah, he won the FA Cup with Liverpool. He won the League Cup twice. He won the Europa League. Back then it was called the UEFA Cup. And he won the Community Shield. And he won the Super Cup in 2001. 2001. Yeah, so you could say that his managerial time at Liverpool, you could argue that at least that it was his most successful period, because overall he won the most trophies while managing Liverpool. But eventually, he got replaced in 2004 by Benitez, and then he went on to manage Lyon. Like I said before, won back-to-back league titles in France. Eventually, he left there because his time was seen as a underachievement. He managed Villa as well, and I think he recorded. Then I think he only managed it for one season because of health issues, pretty much, and he managed to, under his tenure, Villa finished 9th, and since they moved on from Gerard Houllier to another manager, they haven't been able to finish higher than 15th. And speaking of Villa, I think Darren Bent paid tribute to him on TalkSport Radio for the belief he showed in him when he signed him from Sunderland. And yeah, I think that's certainly yeah, there certainly was a good relationship there as well between Darren Bent and Gerard Houllier. And I believe he passed away in Paris after a heart operation. So I think when he was managing Villa in 2010, you started to see a few problems with him. There were times, even Liverpool as well, where he would miss matches because of health conditions, heart problems. I've actually heard a story that apparently his heart actually stopped for a minute and he had to be rushed to hospital. So I think throughout the latter part of his managerial career, unfortunately, he was plagued by health problems, and now, tragically, he's passed away. And he's a legend. He deserves his tributes. He deserved his respect at a time before his passing. And so, yeah, I'm sure that Liverpool fans especially will be, I'm sure they look to him as a legend for what he did for the club, even though it wasn't back to their glory days of the 80s. But within the late 90s into the 2000s, you could certainly argue that he helped rebuild the structure of Liverpool to what it is today. He helped bring a good feeling back to Liverpool after underachieving years with prior managers. So certainly it's a massive loss from the sport of football. And like I said before, well wishes to him, to his family and friends who've had to deal with suffering a personal loss to them in Gerard Houllier. That's all I have to say. Merry Christmas, take care and God bless.